Hello everyone, how you going? And welcome back to Never Tell Me the Odds, a place where you'd be forgiven for thinking there's a little bit of black magic involved in some of these posts. You know, some of these posts are just completely unexplainable because there's no way that that was actually done, let alone actually just captured on video. But anyway, let's jump straight into it and see what I'm talking about. Alrighty then, so starting right off with, I believe it's called an RKO. It's always a nice sight to see a GTA video. Here we go. What are we going to have? Come on, my man, you got to have a little bit more money, but maybe he's actually spent all of his luck. Oh my goodness, he walked away with the cash as well after all of that. Look at this. That is one hell of a maneuver. Look at that. Randy Orton out of nowhere. But yes, you've got to love the completely uncollapsible and just immovable object that is the bush, because it just wouldn't be GTA 5 if something random like that just stops you in your tracks. And then on the other hand, you just happen to completely mow down a fence that looks immovable. And really, that is some incredible physics to kind of get catapulted all the way in the air like that. And, you know, you can see right there that it actually got enough air to kind of activate parachute mode. But no, that is one hell of a maneuver that I've never seen in the WWE or just really anywhere. I mean, maybe in some kind of superhero movie somewhere, but there is no way that it has been that flawlessly executed. You know, I don't know how well this guy came out of it, and considering you only got, what, $31 from the whole thing. Oh, wait, I just want to watch it again. I just realized I think that he actually took out the other guy as well. Wow, he got to 2 for 1. That is even more incredible. I mean, I guess it makes sense that he needed 2 people to break his fall, considering he only started with half health, and then even though he did survive, he only survived barely. And I mean, the fact that he just got 1 star in this game and thinks he has no money at all, I can only imagine he doesn't exactly have the ability to, you know, just call something in, whether that be the mock or whatever it may be, just to kind of lay low and hide for the cops for a little while, just let his health regenerate. I mean, I guess in saying that, I certainly hope that he has snacks, because he's not going to get very far very fast without any snacks. But I mean, hey, these 2 guys are kind of poolside. That's kind of a snack territory, and they even had cash on them, so maybe they've got some snacks in the pocket. I'm sure if you ask them nicely, they'll be more than willing to kind of hand them over to you. Well, you've got way more need for it than I do, you know. I'm just kind of lounging by the pool, in the pool, so to say. But no, really, even though GTA does create so many amazing moments like this, at the same time, it does create so many amazing moments like this. So even though it is definitely Never Tell Me the Odds, and I'm sure you'll be freaking out about what you just did, but I do feel as though this one could be unintentionally recreated. And so even though, like I said, it's a very entertaining clip, and it's definitely a Never Tell Me the Odds, at the same time, I'm glad it's not any higher, because GTA is basically just made of these clips. Want to visit that dispensary? No way this guy was actually on Tinder at the same time that he actually met the girl in the Tinder post, and she almost looks as though she's wearing the same thing. Yeah, look at that. She's wearing an identical outfit, so that photo must be absolutely brand spanking new, you know. She took that photo and updated her profile right before she left, and then this guy just happened to run into her in, what do they say, a dispensary of all places. Hang on a minute, I've just looked about what is actually in the background, and I don't know if that is even allowed on YouTube. I feel as though I'm gonna have to censor it in a way. I mean, obviously I have nothing to go off here, but I'm certainly hoping that this is in California, considering what is in the background, and also it definitely explains why I've never heard of a dispensary, because that is one hell of a store. And also, I'm not sure, and maybe I'm just completely getting my unit of measurement wrong, but if we do ever look to the photo on the right, we can certainly see that they are certainly not 9 miles away. So yeah, hopefully it wasn't an awkward interaction and she kind of went, oh, okay, I would definitely never swipe right on you, but now that I'm meeting you in the flesh, I guess I'm just kind of have to post to this picture. I mean, this guy's got the hover hands going for like nothing. So perhaps in that case, maybe he's not too invested in the entire kind of Tinder scene, but I guess regardless of how actually invested you are in the entire kind of Tinder scene, seeing someone on your phone and then kind of turning around and seeing them in real life, you just be completely kind of, what the hell is going on here? Your mind probably won't even be able to process what is going on. And honestly, I feel as though this is just one of the posts where you actually might say Never Tell Me the Odds just out loud, you know, because I feel as though for so many of these posts you wouldn't be saying that retroactively, but for this one you would just be saying Never Tell Me the Odds, what are the chances, just all those kind of things that you actually kind of meet your Tinder date, or I guess not your Tinder date, but just some random kind of Tinder person just in a random store. So yeah, I guess even if they didn't say it, I'll be the first to say it. That is definitely a Never Tell Me the Odds kind of moment. I unintentionally smudged KFC grease on a receipt, revealing a redback spider from an ad on the other side. Heart missed a beat when I took it from my wallet. That is absolutely incredible, and of course it was going to be an Australian post. I mean, I don't 100% know, but I'm fairly sure redback spider is only native to Australia, and it's actually incredible how many different things of this entire receipt actually tell you, and it's Australia. You know, if you start from the top, you got Kmart, you got New South Wales, you got Australia, you got the date is kind of the correct way around, not some American randomness. We've got another one right here with AUD, we've got another Kmart, even got a trolley for goodness sakes, and then of course you wouldn't want to miss it, you got the .com.au. But no, that Chris has done an incredible job of bringing that spider from the background to the foreground. You know, you can see that there's some other kind of spider or even some other animal, who knows what it is over here, but really now I'm just wondering what the hell is in KFC grease to the point where he's able to kind of erase the front but just bring out the background to that point. You know, that it is obviously a very simple graphic in terms of it's only 2 colors, but it's not as though it only brought the black forward, it only brought the red forward. No, it's completely preserved the entire shape. It's not like anything ran, and it's just brought all the red and all the black just completely forward, while, like I said, just erasing all the font and everything. It's almost like a new way of photocopying or something, you know, just pump that KFC grease and you just have a new kind of forged document in no time. But yeah, I can certainly sympathize with someone having a heart attack over this kind of thing, because you would immediately recognize exactly what it is and the entire shape would just give it away, but at the same time you just wouldn't be able to comprehend where and how and why it is even there, you know, especially if you pulled it out of your wallet. You're just wondering, there is no way, how the hell did it kind of leave in a 2D kind of squished place? But then again, spiders can become pretty 2D, and they do certainly like warm kind of leathery spaces, whether that be shoes or boots, or I guess in this situation maybe even a wallet. It would certainly scare the hell out of you, just immediately going, oh, there's a spider, oh my goodness, what the hell? Because as soon as they open it up and they're on the backside of the scene, they can kind of see the pest control and everything else, whatever this thing is over here, and they have all that surrounding context to go, okay, it's not a real one, you know. I can see along with everything else that it's not actually going to jump out and bite me. But when you open it up and you were just looking at a plane or receipt and then suddenly there's a spider on it, like I said, it just would not compute with your brain at all. And you'd just be absolutely freaking out and you'd probably just chuck the thing out, to be honest. So yeah, I guess if you didn't know already that KFC wasn't the most healthy thing for you, you certainly do now, you know. I feel as though something like that is definitely sending you a message about the entire kind of danger around spider and also the danger around the grease of the KFCs. So hey, I guess this just might be the golden ticket to never tell the odds, you know. It really just is trying to push all the unhealthy things about KFC, and so hey, you finally got the one that they've been meaning to send out all these years. Perfectly placed web. Hey, look at that, we've actually got 2 spider posts in a row. I can only imagine that's not actually meant to be there, and some spiders just come along and strung Spider-Man up like it was nothing, you know. But no, that is great. It's not as though there's an entire web around him, it's not as though it came off in heads, just right from the web shooter. It has just come right from his wrist, and he's got that anti-gravity kind of web going on. But no, see, these are the kind of posts that I just love, just kind of random little things like this, where you've obviously just got a clock hanging up in your room and you go, hang on a minute, is that a spider web hanging from his wrist? I don't remember that being there yesterday, and it certainly didn't come with a piece. So overnight, just a spider strung it up and you just go, oh my goodness, never tell me the odds that a spider actually used Spider-Man to kind of get around, let alone the fact that, like I said, it's just so perfectly placed on his wrist. And really, it's almost never tell me the odds considering the fact you actually notice this, you know, because obviously spider web is so thin, and unless you're actually using that clock every day and you actually look up at it going, okay, well, that's the time. But if it is more so just kind of a decorative clock, then I feel so you wouldn't be looking at it every minute of every day. I mean, I guess once a spider puts in a web somewhere, it generally doesn't just disappear unless it gets knocked or just kind of completely taken out by something. So maybe it was up there for a little while, but really it feels like for you to even notice something like this, it just never tell me odds. You know, I don't know what I do, but I feel as though there are so many people out there that just would never notice this. They might get rid of the web, not even thinking about it twice, but really that's even if they see it in the first place. So yeah, I feel as though even though this is probably even, I don't know if it's the right word, but rudimentary kind of post we've ever seen on this at the same time, it's also just one of my favorite because it's just, I don't know what to call it besides ironic considering a spider used Spider-Man to build a spider web. Truck goes over bridge, is saved by safety chains hooked up to RV. Whoa, that is one hell of a kind of maneuver, or at least a situation to be in. Man, you would not want to be those people in that car. You know, from the post just before, that person's heart skipped a beat where I feel as though this person just had a full cardiac arrest. But hey, I guess just besides all the other things, generally they do stop you from losing the trailer if you do disconnect from the hitch, but really I guess this is just another reason to actually use the chains. You know, so many people seem to drive around chainless, but really as you can see in this situation, it's a complete lifesaver. And even though usually it's a lifesaver more so for other people so you don't just have a trailer going rogue on them, in this situation it's the only thing stopping them from falling, I don't know, what is that, like 100 meters or 50 meters I guess, into a very, very nasty looking canyon. Really all I can think of now is just seeing this as a video and just having the amount of no's before the yes finally comes would just be ridiculous. You just see them swerving, you see them go over the edge, and you see them kind of almost look as though they're going to plummet down, and then just finally, almost like a movie or something, they just kind of screech and the RV just kind of slams into it and they just stop there, you know, just swinging for low forever. I mean, I guess in saying that, I can only imagine that everyone was alright in this situation. I don't feel as though it implied any kind of harm came to anyone, besides maybe a lot of shock. But really, you can see what looks to be, I don't know, it almost looks like a crane, but at the same time, it looks as though it's got too many axles and it's almost just kind of a tow truck or something. Either way, whatever's being used, it would have been a hell of an operation to kind of do that safely and make sure that everyone is either, well, I guess one, not completely having, like I said, a cardiac arrest in the car because they're just completely freaking out because they're just staring down for, I don't know, however long it takes. And two, you don't just suddenly just snap the chains and just send them over the edge, you know, that would be one hell of a thing. So props to everyone involved in the entire rescue team because that would have been one sketchy situation to kind of get people out of. And also, I guess at the same time, you just got to give props to the chains because that is the only thing stopping these people from falling down, you know, because I certainly can't imagine that is a normal situation that chains or just anything that is attached to a car has ever been through. And so yeah, I definitely don't think it never told me the odds as being kind of a sweaty palms or I don't know, like I said, a no, yes kind of sub, because just like the last post, it's generally just completely harmless. And so really, even though I can definitely understand why it's on this sub, that is one hell of a situation to be in. But I guess in saying that, at least you can say that it is a never told me the odds in a good way. An accidental reunion. In 2013, an Ida Sporty saw a YouTube video of actress Samantha Feuderman who looked just like her. She messaged Feuderman and discovered they were both born in South Korea on the same day and were adopted at a young age. A DNA test later revealed that the two are actually identical twins who were separated at birth and found each other through sheer coincidence. Wow, that is absolutely crazy. Like I said, through sheer coincidence, you know, that is one hell of a powerful YouTube video just to be randomly recommended a new video and you go, hang on, I feel as though I'm looking in a mirror right here. I mean, I don't mean to ruin the entire story behind it, but at the same time, I'm a little bit skeptical of the whole thing about if this is even really, you know, because really, for all I know, that could be just some random Shutterstock image that somebody's then just put text together and just made up this brilliant story and just gone, wow, look at these two people, you know, they kind of look similar. I mean, obviously you can look at them and certainly see that they're sisters and they're certainly very close to being identical, if that. But I don't know, I feel as though when I just see an image like this and a little bit of text below it, I just have to be a little bit skeptical of the entire situation because it's so easy to just kind of make up a good story, like I said, and then just post it to Reddit and just get all the karmas at once. Just absolutely be a karma farmer. I mean, don't get me wrong, I definitely want this to be correct considering it is absolutely never tell me odds. And exactly like they said, through sheer coincidence, these identical twin sisters who were separated at birth and just adopted into two completely different families, it would be absolutely incredible to be correct in that way. And so like I said, I hope this is a never tell me the odds and I hope it is correct, but something about this post just makes it so I just can't completely switch off the cynic inside of me. Well then, I guess we're going to have two in a row, so unexpected reunion. Alright then, so running straight off the back of the way, the last one. Two nurses hired within months of each other to work the same shift on the same floor of the same Florida hospital discovered that they were long lost sisters from Korea again, who had been separated for nearly 40 years. Wow. My history certainly isn't great, but man, what the hell is going on in Korea, considering we have 2 back-to-back posts where sisters from Korea have actually found each other just years and years and years afterwards, you know? But no, I can never see how this one is even more Never Tell Me the Odds, considering that, you know, like the last one, they were identical twins, so you can kind of go, hang on, like I said, you're looking in the mirror, surely that has to be me or my sister or whatever it might be. Where really, I feel as though, considering it doesn't say anything about them being identical, and I guess, let's be honest, you can certainly see that they're not identical twins, but I feel as though that would definitely make it more difficult to find out she's actually your sister, you know? So I have absolutely no idea when, where, or even how you start the kind of whole entire process of trying to figure out whether they're your sibling or not, especially because of the fact that they're now living in Florida, and it's not like they have access to all the records that Korea would have been having or whatnot. I mean, I guess maybe their parents, even they have the records from when they're actually adopted, and so they could try and filter through and see if there's any answers in there, but it's actually insane when you add up all the different decisions that has gone into them meeting, you know? As it says, they both have to be hired at the same time. I mean, I guess in the first place, they both have to decide to be nurses, but really to then be working in the same area on the same floor, and then also regardless of the fact they even work at the same hospital, the fact that they even kind of moved to the same state all the way back then is just incredible. I just feel as though this isn't Never Tell Me the Odds, because I wouldn't be able to tell you the odds if I wanted to, you know? Just, let's be honest, something like that is just completely unable to be calculated, or at least I could certainly never hope to calculate something like that. So yeah, even though the same thing that I said the last one still applies to this one in terms of you never know if this one is real or not, at the same time I certainly hope it is, and I certainly hope that these 2 sisters, well, I guess like I said, after 40 years they have finally found each other, and they just will certainly not be leaving each other's side ever again. And so now finally at the top of the one for Never Tell Me the Odds, we have lightning strikes a firework. Oh, obviously this one is obviously spoiled by the title, but I'm just waiting to see, oh my goodness, wow. Wherever these fireworks are being sent off, it just must be completely like desert flat or just ocean flat, because surely if the lightning had a choice about where it was actually going to strike, there would be no way that a firework would be its first choice to ground, you know? But really, this kind of post just comes back to what I said at the beginning. The fact that this was actually able to be captured on video, it just boggles the mind. It honestly does. I mean, I guess at the same time, people certainly do like to film fireworks, so I guess that probably isn't the least lucky part about this entire thing. And also, I'd love to know if it was actually the lightning that set it off, or it was actually just perfectly timed, you know? Because it's roughly in the same position to where all the other ones were exploding anyway, so maybe it was actually just perfectly timed, or maybe it was actually kind of the catalyst, you know? Perhaps it actually needed the explosion to create the right environment to actually strike it, and really, because lightning is so fast, it almost looks as though it did it. But honestly, I feel as though if I just saw this completely out of context, I would just go, oh, well, that's some pretty cool CG you got there. Not that you would actually capture the video of lightning striking a firework. Honestly, there's not much to say about the top person Never Tell Me the Odds, because it is just so impossible, and I guess so uncalculably low? I don't know if that's a word, but uncalculably low chance of this actually happening, that really, it just seems to defy this world, and honestly, it looks as though Zeus or Thor was just angry at that firework. I mean, I guess you are sending them into the sky, so maybe just kind of like an upset neighbor who just decided enough, and I just don't want this one anymore, you know? I'm just going to strike thee down, and hey, I guess you'll just never know. Maybe that lightning strike was actually headed for you, and that rocket just completely took one for the team. But anyway, that is going to do it with another one for Never Tell Me the Odds, so thank you for watching this video, and so if you did enjoy it, feel free to do the YouTube and look at things down below. Other than that, we see awesome posts all over Reddit, so make sure you check some of the other videos out now, or maybe you just want to consider subscribing so you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one, and see ya.